the Porsche 911 has been delighting drivers for nearly 6 decades. But where did this automotive icon come from, and what does that 3-digit name actually mean? Well, buckle up because there is quite a story behind this legendary Porsche, and yes, it's pronounced Porsche. To understand how the 911's sprawling model range came to be, we have to go back in time, like way back to the days of Dr. Ferdinand Porsche. Look at that happy guy. I bet he was a bucket of chuckles at parties. Okay, so Porsche, the company, didn't actually start out building cars. Hard to believe, I know. Instead, it was more of an engineering consultancy that helped develop different vehicles, everything from the original Volkswagen Beetle to military hardware. Starting in 1931, every Porsche project received an in-house number, a model designation if you will, and this applied to everything from engines and axle designs to transmissions and even tractors. In June of 1948, the company introduced its first Porsche-branded production model, project number 356. And can you guess what this car ended up being called? No, it wasn't Cayenne. Dr. Porsche scowls at you. An iconic little sports machine with a rear-mounted engine, the 356 was agile and sprightly, setting the standard for future Porsches. And it was produced for around a decade and a half, more than 77,000 examples in total. Now, the 356's replacement would feature a nice boost in power, courtesy of a fancy new 6-cylinder engine. This car, which debuted at the 1963 Frankfurt Motor Show, was to be called the 901, and a 4-pot variant the 902. Except there was a problem, which resulted in yet another fight with the French. And I don't mean over Alsace-Lorraine, at least not this time. You know Peugeot? Well, it was already using 3-digit numbers with a 0 in the middle to signify its cars, and if Porsche were to do the same, it would have likely run afoul of French copyright laws. Unfortunately for the German automaker, various materials had already been printed for the 901 and metal nameplate numbers manufactured. What to do? Well, the solution was easier than a Netflix binge. Just like the inventor of a frittata, they took what they had and ran with it. They just replaced the 0 with a 1, which conveniently they pretty much already had ready to go because, 1 is the last number in 901. Problem solved. And the 911 was born. After this simple swap, the French were happy. The Germans were happy. Actually, are they ever happy? And most importantly, drivers were happy because they got to enjoy an awesome new sports car. Okay, let's quickly walk through the 911 lineup and cover a few important terms. Right at the top of this page, we're seeing a lot of Carrera. What's that mean? Well, it's actually Spanish for race, Rennen in German, and today it's applied to standard 911 models. Carreras can be had with all-wheel drive, that's what the little 4 denotes, and you can get them as a cabriolet too, and that's just a fancy way of saying convertible, which probably lets them charge a lot more money. Next, there's the sportier Carrera S range, and they turn up the wick on the standard model's 3-liter twin-turbo flat-6 to deliver 443 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, and that's a nice upgrade over non-S models, which have 379 ponies and 331 pound-feet. Moving along, there's the Targa range. These 911s feature a removable roof section for an open-air driving experience. Now, an S variant of these cars is offered, though all-wheel drive is standard. Now, a word on the GTS models. Collectively, they're sort of like a stepping stone between more workaday 911s, and I'm making air quotes there, and the range-topping turbo family. They offer an extra shot of sportiness without a huge price increase. Okay, finally, it is turbo time, and these cars are the alpha dogs of the 911 family. That's ALPHA as in the first letter of the Greek alphabet, not ALFA as in Alfa Romeo, which we all know they can oftentimes be dogs. Anyway, available in standard coupe and cabriolet body styles, these 911s are legit supercars with standard all-wheel drive, gigantic brakes that are larger than a pizza, and stupid performance. The 2021 Turbo S models have 640 horsepower and can hit 60 miles per hour in as little as 2.6 seconds. Top speed is a cool 205. Speaking of supercars, what exactly are the 911's major competitors? Well, you might consider basically, if you want a 911, you're probably just going to get a 911 since it is such an icon. And that just about does it for this video, but I should probably touch on the car's various model designations before wrapping things up. Now, depending on how you count, there are around 8 generations of 911, though some might argue there are more. The current model is referred to as the 992 series. Its predecessor was the 991. Then there's the 997 and E46. Sorry, that's a BMW. It's actually 996. And then, of course, the air-cooled models come before all of that. Obviously, there are so many other things we could talk about regarding the 911, like limited production models or the different technical evolutions the car has gone through. I mean, what is PDK? Well, it sounds like the topic of another video to me, which is convenient because we are fresh out of time here. Hey, what's your favorite 911? Let us know in the comments down yonder, and if you liked what you just watched, check out Emmy Hall's video on the Ford F-150. She breaks it all down just like I did here, covering the truck's history, what its name means, and a whole lot more. Give it a watch-a-roo. I think you'll really like it.